Title: Tied to the Mast. Written by Elroi Novel Library. I never thought I'd be the kind of person who'd lose themselves over someone else. I always imagined I'd be strong, unshakable even. But love, or what I thought was love, has a way of unraveling even the most carefully stitched edges of your soul. He left, just like that. No explanations that made sense, no closure. Just silence where there used to be warmth. And suddenly I was alone, with a heart too full of memories and a mind haunted by what-ifs. Nights were the hardest. It always started the same, me lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, pretending I didn't want to hear his voice. But the silence would get so loud it felt like it would crack me open. I'd reach for my phone like it was oxygen. My thumb would hover over his name in my contacts, and every part of me would scream for just one more call, one more message. That's when I realized this was my siren song. You know, in Greek mythology, the sirens lured sailors to their deaths with a song so beautiful, so irresistible, that no one could say no. And that's what it felt like. My longing for him was a song I couldn't stop hearing. Every memory, every kiss, every lie, sung to me like it was salvation. But it wasn't. I was about to drown. And then, in a moment of rare clarity, I remembered the story of Odysseus. How he tied himself to the mast of his ship and ordered his men to fill their ears with wax so they wouldn't follow his commands as they sailed past the sirens. He knew he would be tempted. He knew he'd lose control. So he prepared for it. That night, I called my best friend instead of him. "I need you to stop me," I whispered. "Please, just stop me." She didn't ask questions. She didn't judge me. She stayed on the phone until I cried myself to sleep. And I didn't call him. Not that night. That small victory became the beginning of something I didn't know I needed healing. But it started with one truth: I wasn't strong enough to face it alone. Sometimes, real strength is knowing exactly how weak you are. And asking for someone to tie you to the mast. The days that followed felt like walking barefoot through broken glass. Every step forward still hurt, but at least it was forward. I deleted his number. I removed every photo from my gallery. I blocked him on social media. Not out of bitterness, but because I had to protect myself from myself. My best friend held onto my phone charger for a week. She showed up at my door with tea, silence, and a presence that told me I didn't have to be okay to be loved. It was humbling, admitting I had lost control. But somehow, being tied to the mast didn't feel like weakness anymore. It felt like wisdom, like survival. Some nights, the siren song would return, soft, seductive, a whisper in the dark. "He might be missing you. What if you call and he's changed? You still love him, don't you?" And God, those whispers knew exactly where to aim. But I'd remember why the mast was there. Why I'd ask to be held. I'd clutch my journal instead of my phone. I'd write letters I never intended to send. I'd cry without shame, scream into my pillow, and wake up the next morning knowing I didn't drown. And somewhere in the storm of all that pain, something changed. I started hearing a different kind of voice, one I hadn't heard in a long time. My own. It was quiet at first, unsure. But it grew louder with each day I resisted the sirens. It reminded me of my worth, my strength, my capacity to love without breaking in the process. It told me that I wasn't abandoned. I was becoming. I started doing small things for myself. Brushing my hair. Cooking for one. Laughing, genuinely, at things I thought I'd never find funny again. I reconnected with old dreams and started building new ones. And one morning, without realizing it, I woke up and didn't think of him first. I wasn't healed completely. But I was free. And that, to me, was everything. It had been a year, a full circle of seasons, since my world had cracked open. I was sitting in a small cafe I'd grown fond of, one of those cozy spots that felt like a warm hug on a cold day. My laptop was open, a half-written poem on the screen, and a gentle buzz of life all around me. That's when I saw it. A message request. From him. Just his name sent a jolt through my chest, not pain, not love, just surprise. A name that once rolled my heart now felt like a distant headline from a forgotten newspaper. The message was short. Hey, been thinking about you lately. Can we talk? I stared at the screen for a long time. Not because I didn't know what to say, but because I knew exactly what I wouldn't. I didn't respond immediately. Instead, I leaned back, closed my eyes, and remembered everything, not just the hurt he caused, but the girl I used to be when I needed him. The girl who begged to be seen, who thought her worth depended on someone else's affection. That girl was gone. What remained was a woman who had held herself through the storm, tied herself to the mast, and found her way home. A few days later, curiosity led me to peek at his social media. And there it was, the familiar pattern. The girl he left me for? She'd left him. Public heartbreak. Sad captions. Quotes about betrayal and healing. It didn't spark joy in me. Just clarity. The man who once shattered me was now standing among his own ruins, and for the first time, I didn't want to rescue him. I had found someone kind, patient, and whole on his own. He didn't walk into my life to fix me, he came because I had already done the work. He came to grow with me, not complete me. And I, who once begged to be chosen, had finally chosen myself. So, I did respond to that message, but with love, the kind you give to a memory, not a future. Hey, I'm not the same girl you walked away from. I truly hope you heal, but I've moved on. Please respect that. And that was it. No regret. No anger. Just peace. The sirens no longer sang. Because I no longer listened.